Warning, this video contains flashing lights, immense blood/gore, loud sounds, and disturbing imagery, and more. If you are sensitive to any of these, please click off this video. Enjoy! Hello boys and girls, my name is Carrotface, and in this video we are going to be going over the FPE Yellow Infection AU series. This AU takes place in FPE, where an infected parasite has taken over the water supply and is mutating everyone into monsters. Obviously, if you somehow couldn't tell, this video will contain heavy spoilers for the series. The series was created by Inv Was Here. Go check them out. They make awesome content. And yeah, let's just get into it. So this AU has a total of 12 videos and is relatively new. Now, all of these videos are actually on TikTok. However, the ones on YouTube are like repolished, I guess you could say, as they're fully colored, have better animation and such. But I'm pretty sure the one on TikTok does have more content, so I will leave that in the description. However, I'm going to consider the TikTok ones not canon here, as some stuff seems to have been changed up a bit in the series. Well, let's just get into the first video, which is titled Fundamental Paper Education Yellow. So, the video is relatively short, only about 31 seconds long, but at the start we can see Zip walking through a hallway with a very injured arm and knee. She wraps herself up with a bandage before walking. After walking a bit, she seems out of breath, and she encounters blood and a corpse. She looks up and sees an absolute giant monster staring at her, in which she sprints away and the monster chases her. Now, I just want to quickly say that what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give a summary of the video, and then I'm going to go into the details of it. So, let's just get into that. Now, as Zip is wrapping up her bandages, we can see a little paper on the wall that says "Do not feed" and shows a drawing of Miss Stavel. Another thing shown in the video is the corpse that Zip finds is Robbie's corpse. So, we already know 3 things. 1, Zip is immensely injured. 2, Robbie's dead. And 3, Miss Stavel is infected. Yes, in case you didn't know already, this infected here is Miss Stavel. We could tell by the Wendigo skull shape, which is what Miss Stavel is, and the antlers, in which she's the only one with antlers in the show. Now, one last thing I want to talk about for this video is that in the thumbnail, it shows Edward, who's in a room hiding behind what seems to just be like a wall. And in the glass, there's a giant figure with blood splattered on the glass. It seems Edward was in the room hiding, or in the room near the infected and Zip hiding, and maybe Zip got killed. We'll just find out later and continue watching. Episode 2, Searcher, FPE Yellow. The video starts with Chip walking through a dark hallway. The fish on his back, I just want to quickly say, seems to be sentient, and a faint scream is heard along with a blood splatter. He continues walking and encounters an infected. Panics for a bit before sprinting, and the infected follows. He runs into a vent and successfully gets in. The infected chases, but he stabs it with a screwdriver and barely gets to the end, which the infected can't reach. The infected then shows to be, well, Miss Stavel. Chip walks out of the vent and then gets eaten alive. Wow. On the second episode, and we've already got some crazy stuff going on. Let's just get into the details. So, first thing I want to mention is that when Chip goes into the vent, the infected following actually has an eye that seems to appear. Does this mean the infected can create eyes? Maybe. And I do want to say that Chip is actually crazy smart here, as I'm pretty sure he's canonically 4, and bro knows how to unscrew a vent. And another thing here, when the infected shows to be Miss Stavel, it's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure the infected was luring Chip here, as in a later episode, it's kind of implied that Zip, Chip, and Miss Stavel are all a family, like Babble's the mother, and then Chip and Zip are the son, or the children. This is also implied in the regular FPE, but I just want to throw that in there, which is probably the main reason why Chip followed, as he thought it was his mother. Well, there isn't too much detail to go into this video. However, I do want to point out that the fish on Chip's back is sentient and is technically still alive, as he's still in the vent. But let's go ahead and go on to the third video. Actually, a quick thing I want to say, the description of this video is in Wingdings, or part of it at least, and I will go ahead and translate it and read the full thing for you. Now, there's actually two parts of the description. The not Wingdings parts reads, "Hey, so glad this is finally out. Me and Jello have been working hard to get this out. Retrieving the audio is very hard. Have to be quiet. Hopefully I could post some more images, but probably not. Maybe Oliver will post some more. I don't even know where he charged that phone." Now, this is a little... At first, I thought this was just Inv saying, like, you know, he was working hard on the video and stuff. But the whole Oliver will post some more on this video and have to be quiet does change a little bit. So maybe someone is posting these videos on, like, either, like, a security footage or YouTube, and Oliver has access to it. Now, the Wingdings part reads, "I don't think I can watch another person go out because of my mistakes. I should have told them. I should have warned them better. I should have took my chance all that time ago and shot that B word in the head." So, someone had a gun and could have shot someone. Now, obviously, we don't know who or what this is, or who this is implying to be, but let's just continue onwards. The third video is called Miss Grace, FPE Yellow. It starts with Miss Grace in a security camera footage looking panicked. She pulls out a gun and points it to her head before stopping and dropping it. She seems to realize something before standing up and walking out of view. The camera stays like this for a long time, like 20-30 seconds, but eventually Morse code starts playing, as you can hear. After a bit, the Morse code stops, and the video ends. Now, not much to go off of in this video, but I'll try to do my best. In the video, when Miss Grace points the gun to her head, she looks scared to do so, and when she drops it, she, like, kind of seems to realize something. Now, obviously, pointing the gun to your head means something. I'm not going to say that something, but she does seem to be a bit guilty about something if she's pointing a gun to her head, and judging by her expression at the start, you could say that she was, like, horrified at what she saw or what's happening, but I don't really think that's the case here. Another thing, that Morse code leads to a YouTube description to another video. Before we get into that, I'll just read the description, which reads, "Sorry about deleting the old vision of this video. I noticed some mistakes. Sorry, I was being distracted and didn't realize until I checked it up. Sorry again about the audio. Usually the cameras don't pick up audio too well. I tried my best. The only thing I was able to retrieve was that weird beeping." The weird beeping could be just Inv trying to be all mysterious, but it could also be a survivor or somebody just retrieving audio and footage. Either way, let's just get into that video, the one with the Morse code. The video is called Detached, FPE Yellow, and is our first secret video. The video is very short, only about 10 seconds long, and is simply just Miss Stavel staring at the camera. She's all bloodied, and some of her body parts seem to be falling apart, and she seems to stand over a corpse. She stares at the camera, and the video just ends there. The description reads, "You heard scream. You heard me dying. Why didn't you bring that gun?" Now, someone did actually comment this, but the description could be a misspelling of "you heard me scream, you heard me dying, why didn't you bring that gun?" Now, the corpse or body that Miss Davil is standing over seems to be Miss Bloomy's, as we can tell by the little ponytail or bun she has in her hair, along with the tiny little horn ear thing. Other than that, we don't really know what else. Actually, I do want to quickly say, Miss Davil here looks noticeably less, not disfigured, noticeably less dead. As in the one we saw during the first video, she's a complete skull. However, here she still seems to be a bit of flesh. A small theory I do have is that maybe Miss Grace is the one recording here, or this is the perspective of Miss Grace. But other than that, let's just continue onward as we have nothing else really. Video 5. Assist FPE yellow. Now this is actually the longest video so far, being 4 minutes and 13 seconds, and it's one of the most informational videos we have, as it's directly about the infected and how it came to be and the stages of it. So let's get into it. The video starts with the VHS booting up and a voice saying that this video is brought to you by the Secret Animal of Factuality Experiments, also known as SAFE. We are then introduced to Dr. Cast and his assistant Broad, who have unleashed a dangerous parasite, I guess, out onto the world. They then say that the school that you are in, or I guess whoever's reading this is in, has gone through by the water distribution and has infected the drinking supply. So until backup shows up, this is a guide to help survive the infected. The parasite is very hydrophilic, which means it cannot live without a water supply. So it is unadvised to not touch any water from the school affiliations. Insects can also pass down the infection if infected or contaminated with the infected water. It is advised to drink water strictly from bottles or stuff such as juice and chocolate milk. If you suspect someone has been infected, the best ways to prevent the infection from spreading further are as follows: being throwing up / vomiting if you've drunk suspected contaminated water, cutting off a body part if the water splashed onto you or a bug has bitten you that maybe has been infected with the water. And if you do not feel better within these 30 minutes after doing so, it's best to lock them up in a room and watch closely what happens. And I just want to quickly say that this virus is deadly, or parasite. Now, we get to learn about the stages of the infected, in which there are 4, each getting more and more control of the human body. Stage 1, the victim will show signs similar to a cold, fatigue, headaches, or nausea, and in rare cases, foaming at the mouth. Just to let you know, this is only stage 1 of the infection, and we're already foaming at the mouth. Stage 2 shows more signs, and it's already too late to save the victim. They will be more aggressive and have frequent hallucinations, and will overheat no matter the temperature of the room. So, second stage, and we're already advised to stay away from this infected, or an infected with the second stage. Stage 3 shows an extremely disfigured, more than messed up looking body, shown in like the little silhouette here, I guess. I'm not really sure what that is. An appendage growth, which means like a third arm, smaller arm, or a tail, and are highly aggressive. This is the third stage, and we have all this going on. Like, there's mushrooms on this guy, bro. Stage 4 is as follows.
Very aggressive. Highly intelligent. They know where you are.
You cannot outrun them. You cannot outsmart them. They will find you, no matter what you do. They will find you. They will find.
Thank you for listening to this safety announcement. This video will be deleted within 24 hours to prevent further interruption from your schoolwork. Help will be on its way shortly. So don't try calling the police. They will find you, Miss Grace. We appreciate your sacrifice.
Sorry for disappearing there for a second, but we've got quite a bit to go on. And I might do that again, I don't know. But I do want to say that this the series doesn't really have jump scares. More so like, holy crap, like similar to the Chip scene. But there isn't no like, like, like 5 Nights at Freddy. But I just wanted to say that to calm your nerves a little bit. Relax. I might do that again. Probably not, because I don't like it when analog horror creators do that too. It creeps me out. Anyways, so the main thing I want to go on, there isn't much to go on until we get to the 4th stage, where it says that the infected are highly intelligent and much more aggressive and such. Now the image here, obviously this isn't confirmed or not, but there is actually a slight chance that, I got this from a comment, there is a chance that this could be the scene, or from Chip's perspective with Miss Stavel, as we do see someone like looking it through like a cylinder or some type of metal area here. So this could be Miss Stavel looking at Chip through the vent, reaching out. This could maybe be, the picture could maybe be taken by the fish, but I'm not entirely certain on this theory, as Chip didn't have a camera on him, no one had a camera, so how would they get this footage? I don't know, maybe a security camera or something. Anyways, another thing I want to say is the guy, the narrator, I guess, I don't know, the guy making like this video, he says they will find you, so maybe he's a little infected or insane here, I don't know, because he does act odd midway through, mainly at the 4th stage. And secondly, he says, so don't try calling the police, they will find you, Miss Grace. Obviously, from that, Miss Grace definitely has something dealing with this. We do know that Miss Grace has a gun, and in the detachment video, it says, why didn't you bring that gun? So maybe Miss Grace, I don't know, could have ended this infection, perhaps? Another thing is that at the end, a small little info card, or I don't actually know what this is, but a small little like card shows about Miss Grace's bio, in which it shows her bio, her eyes are blacked out. So if the earlier stuff didn't confirm it, it's clear she has something going on, or she's clearly involved with this infection somehow. Another thing I want to say is that the guy here, the narrator, whatever, he says, thank you for your sacrifice, or we thank you for your sacrifice. Obviously, this is crazy shady, and honestly, when I was watching this for the first time, I was like, hold on, sacrifice? Because why would he say that? What? So I do actually have a small little theory. Maybe the police or whoever's coming to quote-unquote help isn't coming to help, as this infection is obviously very dangerous. And the infected can't live without a water supply. Humans are made out of water, like 70%. This is why they infect humans, because they need the water supply to survive. And obviously, if the humans die, the water's slowly gonna go away and stuff, I'm pretty sure at least. And the humans, because the humans will rot, and if that happens, the infected will die. So I think what's going on here is they're pretending, they're going to help, but they're just going to wait for everyone in the school to die so that they don't have to deal with the infection, because obviously this infection is highly dangerous. That's just my little theory. But now let's get on to the next video. Ooh, this is like the 5th time I've interrupted this, but I forgot to read it. The description has a windings part and an edit part. The edit, this isn't lore related, or I guess it is, but this is from Inf himself. It says, edit, I've changed some lore in this video. I don't really want to put fuller OCs in the story to be main character, so I've changed the lore. Mr. Broad and cast do not exist anymore. The characters that made the parasites is Miss Screams. And the description reads, I did everything they told me to do. I waited for months. They never came. They just got worse and worse. I don't think they care anymore. I don't think they ever planned on getting these things back in the first place. Maybe I should have pulled that trigger. Why didn't I tell anyone? So this kind of just proves my little theory earlier. They did not come to save the school. Now, this does intrigue me a bit. Mainly the why didn't I tell anyone? Now, this is definitely Miss Grace's saying, as maybe I should have pulled that trigger. So far, she's the only one that we know to have pulled the trigger. I'm guessing at her head. It could be at something else, though. But why didn't I tell anyone? It seems Miss Grace was warned, like, yo, there's an infection at your school. And she was just like, all right, whatever, don't really care. And this could have maybe caused Miss Savile or whoever to get infected, causing the infection to spread more and more. But that's just my little small theory. Let's just continue onwards. Video 6, warning, FPE yellow. We are then what's shown to be something like an aftermath of what we just witnessed. We're shown multiple rooms that are like dirty, covered in blood, it seems, and other stuff. Even like body parts, which is kind of creepy. We are then shown Edward, who's fixing his drone, and he's noticeably injured in his tail, I guess, as you just saw. But he does seem to be alive and uninfected. He steps out the room, and a zip flies down in front of him. If you can't tell by now, Zip definitely seems a little off, but Edward doesn't seem to be afraid of her. Even when he runs away, Zip just follows and he doesn't seem bothered. We are then shown Edward placing a note that says, "Beware of traps. The infected is laying traps. Watch out." This is concerning because the infected can lay traps. That's how smart these things are. And there's also some meat and... Now, that video's decently short and a little vague, so let's just go over what we saw. At the start here, we can see Sasha and what seems to be Mr. Demi in the art/kindergarten room. We are then shown what seems to be a corpse. I can't identify who that is. I thought Oliver, but that will be contradicted later. Then in this scene where we have Zip, she is alive, but she seems to be wounded and tired. We then see what seems to be an infected barfing up a body. Now, Zip obviously is terrified by this and is about to cry before she sees something in the window. Now, you normally can barely see, like, I need glasses, so I had to, like, lean in very close, but you can actually see a little silhouette here. And if you brighten up this part, you can actually see what seems to be Edward in the window. He like dashes, walks away, whatever, and Zip sees this, and before it cuts, she seems to be screaming slash calling out for help. And then we are shown what seems to be the aftermath part. Now, before we get into the aftermath part, let's go over that first half for a second, as there's actually quite a bit of details we can see. First, in the Demi and Sasha part, we can actually see a bunch of apples around, and the Demi infected thing seems to be like not necessarily hostile towards Sasha, who seems to be distraught about something as she's kneeling down in front of nothing. Maybe like thinking about something, I don't know. Next up, in the little Zip segment here, with the infected and, well, Zip, we can actually see the infected, well, barfing up what seems to be somebody. Now, obviously, you can only barf up something when you've eaten something. And these giant mouth things look actually very similar to the ones we saw during Searcher, where Chip gets eaten. So this could be a slight stretch, but the infected here actually could be Miss Stavel barfing up her own child and maybe reincarnating it as an infected. This could also be a reason why Zip seems like sad or like very scared here, as she's seeing her mother freaking barf up her own child or her brother right in front of her. Now, other than this, the first part or first half, there isn't much to go off of, like detail-wise and looking closely. However, in the thumbnail, Zip does seem to noticeably be more infected and bloodied up and stuff. So, and she definitely looks, well, infected here. However, in here, she doesn't seem to be, as she's passive with Edward. And Edward doesn't even, like, seem scared of her appearance. Or at least after, like, seeing it's her. So, and also, if we do go off of my theory here, this does mean that in Fundamental Paper Education Yellow, Zip does survive for a bit, then Chip lures the infected away, Zip escapes, Chip gets eaten, Zip gets found again, and we're going to assume Zip dies here or gets infected. This does also mean that Chip is infected, if we go off of my theory again. But yeah, so that does mean, like, these videos are, like, out of order, I guess you could say, as, well, the first half takes place after the first two videos, but then the second half seems to take place a bit after. Oh yeah, and at the end, I don't know if you saw, but there is some text here. Now, I don't have very good vision, so I might be wrong, but I am pretty sure the text here says, "Why couldn't you just tell them the truth? This wouldn't have happened if you did the right thing. Now look at them." If I had to guess who this was for, I'd have to say it's probably for Miss Grace, as from what we know, she's done something that essentially screwed up the school. What do we know? I don't know. I'm still leaning towards the fact that she probably didn't tell anyone when they got the warning. And the description here is actually in Wingdings, or there's a part where it's Wingdings, I don't know. But it says, "She saw you put that gun there. You're pathetic, you know that? If you're gonna go, at least be useful. You should have told us it was a parasite. Why would you lie? You made it worse by trying to keep us safe." So, it seems Grace got a gun just to, like, be safe. Didn't tell the school it was a parasite. And now half of the school is pretty much dead. Or, yeah. Well, Grace definitely messed up here. That's definitely implied. That's been implied for, like, 3 whole episodes, but still, now we essentially have that confirmed, as Miss Grace is the only one with a gun that we know of so far. Well, there isn't too much off of to go there, so I suppose let's just go to the next video. Oh, and one last thing, Edward says, "Are you laughing at me?" in the video. I don't know why Zip would be laughing here, so yeah, she's probably infected. Anyways, now let's go on to the next video. Video 7, code 46613. The video starts with Oliver and Claire standing over what seems to be an infected Abby. We can tell this is Abby due to the little stem on the head. Abby's sleeping, and one of his eyes is hanging down. He also has a tail now, and Oliver grabs the eye and decides to just poke at it for some reason. Because, why not? Lets out a screech, and tears actually do fall out. He then pries the other eye open with a fork, and God, this seems kind of gross if you ask me. If you do hear, there is voice acting now. Just kind of want to say that, but he shines the light. I like that doing that little disappearing thing if you can't tell. But basically, Oliver and Claire are not venturing, they're just exploring, and they find an infected and sleeping Abby. Now, when Oliver grabs the other eye here, there's no worms when he shines the light on it, and it seems absolutely horrified. When he pokes on it, it even lets out tears. However, when he opens this other eye, and he does shine the light on it, there is actually worms. This is the parasite, as the parasite is, well, worms. So, this actually makes me believe that Abby's, like, part infected, part not. As maybe this eye here is his regular eye, and he's still a bit sentient on who he actually is. If you can't tell already, the parasite, like, controls them and brainwashes them, essentially. I don't know if you've heard of the Tangy virus before, but it's like that. Tangy virus is a fake virus, don't worry. It's from an awesome creator. Kind of forgot the name. But it essentially takes control of the host. And I think Abby's partly infected, partly not, as he does not have any worms on his right eye. Yeah. At the end here, there is a photo album. I can't really identify any of the infecteds, though. And it seems that Claire and Oliver are just going around taking photos of the infected to try and get more information. But, other than that, I've got not much info for this, or details to look into, whatever. Now, something I want to quickly say, I apologize if my pacing is a little bad here, but I just found out while making this video that in the first 3 thumbnails the thumbnails of the first 3 videos actually seem to have Morse code in it. Now, I just, like, found this out kind of by accident. I was just scrolling through the community post. And thanks to H6K, we are able to know what they say, as they figured it out themselves. The first video, Fundamental Paper Education Yellow, the first video, it says, "I was there when it first started. I knew it wasn't an oil spill. I wasn't dumb enough to believe that lie." Searcher says, Searcher says, "I was lucky. I found out how to temporarily stop my parasite. The others were too far gone to help, so I didn't." And the third video says, "They weren't helpful anyway." Or, sorry, not third video. Warning, it says, "Hey," "They weren't helpful anyways. I'm not sorry for what happened to them. He took what I needed and hid. It's not my fault she had the survival instincts of a dodo." So, there does seem to be a bit of misspelling in the warning one, as it says, "Hey weren't helpful," which is why I accidentally said hey, but I'm gonna guess it's a misspelling of "they weren't helpful." And "he took what I needed," I'm gonna guess that's a misspelling of "she took what I needed and hid." It's not my fault she had the survival instincts of a dodo. This would make sense of Edward saying all of this, as it always refers to the person as I, and they're talking about Zip here, as she's considered dumb in this AU. Like, Inv said, in a community post that if you're quote unquote dumb, you are not surviving this AU. She had the survival instincts of a dodo. I guess that means Zip's dumb here because dodos do have bad survival instincts, or did. So there's that, I suppose. I was there when it first started. I knew it wasn't an oil spill. That is new, as we've never heard of an oil spill so far. So it seems Grace told everyone that it was an oil spill, when in reality it was a parasite. I found out how to temporarily stop my parasite. This is interesting. This does mean that Edward could be infected, so maybe he found out how to stop himself after the first stage, which is why it says temporarily. So it seems that here in the warning, obviously you can see Edward's tail and his bones actually showing, the bone of the tail or spine, whatever you want to call it. So he either A, cut off that part, B, got infected, or B, got attacked, and there's that, I guess. I'm leaning more towards A, as if he did get attacked, I feel like he'd have a little more wounds on his body, but it's only this, like, part of his tail. So he probably cut that off, temporarily stopped his parasite, and is now trying to find a cure. He does seem a little harsh here, as he seems to be caring or cared for Zip in the warning thumbnail, as he seems like worried. This is probably when he first found infected Zip, maybe. But yeah, there's that. I just want to say that quickly. Now let's get on to the 8th video. Video 8, Mind Trip, FPE Yellow. So the video starts with Mistavel, who's in a room, and someone walks in, and then we enter this weird mind-like state. Now, I want to quickly say that this video was made after the Miss Grace FPE Yellow video, where she points the gun to her head, but it's unlisted right now for some reason, so I kind of forgot about it, so it's showing much later. Anyways, Mistavel finds a device, she walks away from it, and she encounters the portraits. This was shown earlier with the implication that Mistavel is the mother of Zip and Chip, with the father being unknown. She drops the portrait, the empty one, and it just comes back. She walks around and then encounters the device again. She walks away and encounters it again. She gets frustrated by this and stomps on it, but it just comes back. She's definitely confused by this, and a more so poorly version of Miss Grace appears. She fiddles with it, I guess, I don't know, pokes at it, waves her hand in front of it, and it just changes into, it like flickers and then changes into Emily, or Sasha, and then Emily, and then Bloomy, it seems. She tries to make a theory on this, I'm guessing, and then the drawings or whatever disappear, but something shows. She walks back to the device and just stares down. She seems to cry before the video just ends. Now, if you don't have a brain, or if you don't have a brain made out of farts, you could have seen that here is definitely an infected Chip and an infected Zip. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have zero clue on what any of this is implying. It seems that Mistavel's still, like, conscious in a way. This does actually kind of help my theory with Abby still being a bit sentient slash conscious. I don't know, like, still in her body or his body, whatever. But the only thing I could tell is that here Mistavel definitely isn't as disfigured. So if I had a guess, Miss Grace probably followed the instructions of the assist, and it showed that, well, if the person isn't getting better within 30 minutes, lock them in a room and monitor them daily. It seems that Miss Grace just like cut off a chunk of her or something and trapped her in a room. Now, if we actually go to the start here, we could see some text on a whiteboard. I'm pretty sure the text reads, "If you are reading this, This is my last message. I think I'm going to die. Nothing looks right anymore. I'm unknown. I ripped half of Bloomy's face off. If you know what's best, please just let me die. Or please just kill me, sorry. This hurts. This is obviously Thabble saying this, and this does mean that half of Bloomy's face was ripped off. But this does also mean that Miss Thabble was conscious during her attack on Bloomy. So the infected definitely took control of her body at this moment and just straight up ripped half of Bloomy's face off. So there's that. And other than this, I don't know what else for this video. So let's just move on to the next. Video 9. Security cameras, FPE yellow. Now, again, this is a secret video, so it's out of order, but, anyways. Miss Circle walks into the pool. This is security camera footage of the pool. Miss Circle walks in all bloodied up, and it cuts up multiple times. The pool's darker, Miss Thabble's there, and Miss Circle's now in the water. Then it cuts to the pool being dirty, Miss Emily, Miss Grace, and Miss Bloomy there, a hand reaching out, and then cutting to what the aftermath is. And then we could see a silhouette of a giant thing in the water with more dirt, more mold, all of that, and more blood even. So, yes, this video is very vague and quite hard to tell, but it seems what happens here is an infected or wounded Miss Circle, probably infected, walks into the pool, gets in the pool, starts morphing / mutating. I'm gonna guess gets into the later stages. Miss Thabble goes in, Miss Emily, Miss Grace, and Miss Bloomy in. Miss Emily gets split in half, it seems, and then the video ends with Miss Circle now being a giant fish monster. Now, one thing I want to point out quickly at the end is that Miss Emily's body is gone, and there's a blood trail. So if I had to guess, someone may have taken Emily and dragged her. And also, Miss Circle and Miss Thabble seem to actually be interacting here. I do have a small little theory that maybe the virus is sentient. So this could be Miss Thabble and Miss Circle, both infected, communicating with each other to either A, lure people in, or they're just catching up, you know? But that's all there is for this video. I'm pretty sure, the way to find the secret videos, unlisted or whatever. I don't know why some of the videos are getting unlisted, but oh well, I guess. Let's just move on to the next video, I guess. Oh, and one last thing. Security cameras FPE yellow might not actually be its original name. I don't know what the original name is, as I found it off of a YouTube, someone else posted, ooh, secret video FPE yellow kind of thing. It showed this. That's actually how I know about this. But, yeah. I just kind of made up that name. Okay, now let's go to the next video. Video 10. Pool search, FPE yellow. Flashing lights warning, I guess. So, this one actually starts, this one is very similar to the pool search video we just showed. Miss Grace and Miss Bloomy enter the pool, which is covered in filth, in which they see Miss Emily there as well. Now, we actually get revealed that Miss Grace was looking at the cameras during the last video, so she kind of knows what's going on. Now, Miss Grace says that from what I saw, she should be around here. So, they're definitely looking for someone, and if I had to guess, they're looking for Circle or Thabble, as that's who we saw in the camera. Miss Emily checks out the pool while Grace and Bloomy are arguing, and a hand suddenly just sticks out of the pool out of nowhere. Come on, there we go. See? Like that. Now, Miss Emily assumes that this is a child in the pool, but Miss Grace and Bloomy are too busy arguing to even realize. Emily decides to help up the hand, but it wasn't a child in the pool. Now then, let's go over what just happened. Or I guess we already did. But I know y'all can't hear really because of, I guess, me lowering the volume down. But Grace and Bloomy were arguing as Grace said she didn't check the camera all the way, so she isn't sure of whoever they're looking for is still here. Miss Bloomy says that they could just be wasting their time, and then they start arguing about how Grace didn't shoot whoever with the gun as she was too busy trying to dig herself. Now, this definitely confirms that Miss Thavel is essentially the first infected, and Grace probably could have ended this a while ago if she just used that gun. However, despite half of Bloomy's face being gone, she is actually still alive, shockingly. And it seems that one of her limbs is gone. I don't know if it's just her box cutter arm missing, but she's severely weakened. And well, Miss Emily got half of her face eaten off. However, in case you don't remember, at the end of the last video, or not even half of her face, half of her in general, but at the end of the last video, the body disappears. If I had to guess, either A, someone dragged the corpse, or B, maybe Circle or Thavel grabbed the body and turned it into an infected. The description doesn't have anything special, but let's just go to the next video as we've got nothing else. Video 11, 2566464. Now, this video is actually very short, the shortest one out of the whole series, being only about 24 seconds long. So I'll just go ahead and play the whole video for you, and then we'll go ahead and analyze a bit. So yeah, that was the whole video. Very short, I know. And there isn't much to go off of, but hey, we might as well. So at the start of the video, we can see a river and what seems to be Fen drinking water from the river. This river is most definitely contaminated, as shortly after we see Fen, who seems to be like panicking a bit, and her mouth opens and like a kind of a weird way. I guess this means she's already turning. And then we see blood everywhere with Existor's hat on the ground. So, if you can't tell already, Fen got infected and probably killed Existor. Yeah, that's just all there is to it. Alright, let's get on to the final video of the series. Quick thing I want to say, the description reads that code means something. If I had to guess, this is probably referring to the title, so I guess just keep that in mind for future videos, even though we won't really get into that today, as, yeah. Video 12. Face to Face. FPE Yellow. The video starts with Harbin, the little kid here. That's not his real name, it's just a fan nickname everyone gives him. And, we're in the kindergarten/art room. Miss Sasha has a noticeably injured eye, and Harbin asks for an apple. Don't worry about the Barbie mirror, but Miss Sasha walks to the closet, and right before she reaches for the basket of fruits, she sees the radio/walkie-talkie. She decides to pick it up and try to see if it reaches anyone, in which it doesn't, really. But it does.
Hello. What? Grace? You're still alive?
Yes, I'm in my office. Me and Bloomy are here.
How's Emily? Okay. Me and the kindergartners are in the art room. We're safe. Chip ran off when Demi was...
Okay, we could come and get you.
No, there's a creature nearby, I think. But I'll tell you when it's gone.
Sorry for being quiet there. I had nothing to talk about, and the conversation's a little interesting to listen to. But as Sasha is about to leave, she stops and says,
Grace, I don't think that was an oil spill.
Grace noticeably seems annoyed and maybe guilty by this and hangs up the radio. Then Sasha opens the door to go back to the room and then encounters Harbin.
What happened
I don't really know what to talk about this.
big guy?
Miss Sasha then grabs an apple and feeds it to the infected Demi, which seems to calm him down. Again, sorry for being silent there, but I literally had like no clue what to talk about there. Now, despite all of that going on, there surprisingly isn't that much to go off of. Everything seems a bit self-explanatory. However, there are a few things I want to go off of. One, obviously, Mr. Demi's infected. If I had to guess, he's probably in the 3rd or maybe even 4th stage. We actually don't know what stage a certain stuff is. Or certain, like, characters are. If I had to guess, since Miss Lavel's the first infected, I wouldn't be surprised if she's the final stage of the, infection. Like, she's in the final stage. As she seems to be highly intelligent, fast, dangerous, all that stuff. Reason why I say highly intelligent is because she lured Chip and seems to be able to shapeshift even. If so, that's insane. But obviously Miss Sasha says I don't think that was an oil spill, in which, if you remember from the Morse code at the thumbnails, supposedly Edward says I didn't believe for the oil spill lie, something like that. So this does help with the whole Grace saying it was an oil spill, or at least she thinks it's an oil spill, in which Miss Sasha doesn't seem to believe that. Now here, when Demi lets out the deathly scream that alerts the whole school, which honestly I think this is pretty sick. This is just a casual ability he has. But another thing is that obviously the scream is so loud it like freaking slaughters Sasha's ears. That's where all the blood's coming from, by the way. But Demi doesn't seem to actually like eat meat, as he screams when he screams, obviously, but when Miss Sasha feeds him, he stops. So if I had to guess, he probably screamed because he was like hungry or something. But if you noticed when he bit Harbin, he kind of just tossed the body away. So if I had to guess, Mr. Demi actually seems to, well, not eat meat, so I guess you could say vegetarian, which does mean that certain infecteds obviously behave, which helps my theory out on the virus being sentient, as each, like, I guess, like, controlled one kind of acts differently around, or just different in general, as Mistavel just kind of wanders around, and if I had to guess, probably eats humans, meat, whatever. But Demi seems to not strictly eat, at least, but seems to prioritize in fruits and produce. Now, other than that, there really isn't nothing to go off of, and the last thing we really do have to go off of is the description, which has more windings. Anyways, the description reads, well, to be honest, I can't really know what it reads, as it's Morse code. I don't know why it said windings, but it's very distorted and like jumbled up, but I'll try my best. I think it reads, I was there when that happened. I think everyone here heard what happened. I won't believe. I don't know. I won't believe something. There was something about a mill spill. I'm gonna guess that's oil spill. Yeah, I've got no clue, man. Something I do want to say though is that in the comments of Face to Face, someone said, translated, there were rescue planes in the distance. I really believe I saw the hand of God that day. Rescued couple believes. I'm confused by this, as if this is the Morse code, it doesn't make sense at all, as mine is completely different. But I don't know if I saw some missed, some missed freaking thing there. Oh, and another thing, we do know that Engel, Lizzie, and Kevin are all alive. Lizzie seems to be sobbing while Engel's comforting her. If I had to guess, maybe someone just died, or maybe Lizzie saw like some infected petunia or something like that. But yeah, other than that, we don't really have anything to go off for this video. However, we are not done yet, as there's actually two comics I haven't told y'all about, which we will read both. So yeah, let's just get into that. I'm sorry, I keep doing these things. But one last thing, here we can actually see Zip and Edward when everyone's hearing the whole scream of doom and despair. And this actually, and Zip seems perfectly normal here. I don't think that, I don't think Edward, like, uninfected her or something, as the scientist said that there is no cure back in Assist. So if I had to guess, this takes place way before, maybe not way before, but definitely before the first video takes place and Searcher. As Sasha did say that Chip ran off, so this takes place after Chip ran off, and maybe it takes place like just a bit before Fundamental Paper Education Yellow / the first video and Searcher. But let's actually get on to the comics now. The first comic is called Alice, and it's about Oliver and Alice. Now, all of these are going to be severely cropped, as YouTube's dumb when it comes to, like, taking pictures or something, because I took like the pictures on YouTube, or not YouTube, god dang it, computer, and for some reason you can't access like the full image when it comes to community post on computer, or at least I don't know how to. Sorry, but I do know what they're saying, and I'll kind of describe what's happening. But for this first panel, we are immediately greeted by Ruby and Claire, with Ruby saying, "I think we should have left Engel," and Claire saying, "I would if he wasn't our only option." I'll just do different voices for these guys, as I'm not trying to be like, and then Claire said, and then Ruby said, and then Ruby said, and then Claire said, over and over again. We have the Fox Boy. No, he's not ready yet. What about Akai? I don't really know what that says. Heck no, she runs into danger. If I wanted conflict, I'd just get Oliver. Me? Yikes, stop doing that. I didn't do anything. I was just standing here. Hey, Clot. I don't know why he says Clot, but okay, I guess. Okay. Anyways, I was actually looking for you. So, Oliver, would you please join our group? No! Dang it. Claire, why do you even want him with us? Didn't he kill Riley and Rob? I think that says Rob. I'm actually not that sure. I'm just going to say Rob because we do know that Robbie is dead. You can't prove that was me. Yes, but I'd rather have him with you than be infected and be more annoying. Ah, the zombie girl still likes me, even after I killed her again. I'm not dead. 'Cause you're a zombie. Yeah, pretty sure you died. Well, clearly I'm not dead or a zombie. Well, you're just as brain dead as a zombie. Yes, I'm very dumb, but please, Oliver, we'll even help you find your friends. We'll supply you with protection, food, water, and more. You just have to help here and there. So, what do you think? What do I think? Alice! Okay, look, you can't see here, but Oliver's running to Alice's door. And there he goes. He'll be back, though. We should probably do something. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I got this look so stupid here. Oh, Alice. Oh, Alice, where are you? You think we should have came with Claire? What, do you want to join her cult? I don't know, man. Protection seems pretty nice. I don't think I could keep going against these things. It's crowding? It might be just a word I don't know. Don't be dramatic. The zombies aren't corrosive. What? I'm saying their blood isn't acid. They aren't aliens. Well, they don't look natural either. Oh, Alice! Alice. Aiden? Oh, Aiden, what are you doing here? Aiden, I'm talking to you. Aiden! Crap, my pencil. Dang, she took it clean off. Oliver! There she is. There you are, my princess. What's up with Aiden? Well, she's infected. No duh. Oliver, you have to go. Why? Oliver, I'm infected. There's nothing left for you here. What? I don't want to leave. Let's be infected together. No. Oliver, I want you to live. Why? Because I love you. I can't bear to watch you suffer this. I need you to go on without me. I'm sorry. But why can't you just get rid of it? I've tried. I've ripped myself apart so many times. Every time there's a new one. Nothing I tried worked. Not even those chemicals in Bloomy's class. Nothing worked. I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't think it's even possible. How did you get infected in the first place? Well, I was looking for Oliver. Then I tried asking her for help. She led me to the pool. Oh, yeah, I see your problem. You were not supposed to go in the water. There is a whole thing about it. Grace said it was an oil spit. Yeah, I got it. And Aiden's infected too. I might have attacked her. Why? She startled me. But that doesn't matter. Oliver, I want you to have this to remember me by. It will help you. But Alice... Alice? Wait, take it back. You need it. Alice. Oliver. Youch. Aiden. Oliver, run. Dude, run. She's gone. Go, go, go. Claire, I changed my mind. I'll join your group. I'll help. Swoop. Dong. Alright, you can't tell here, but basically, Aiden shot like a bullet at Oliver, and he blocked it with Connor. The sign. Owie. Sorry. Pew, pew, dong, dong. Ah! Again, you can't tell here, but Connor has been shot at multiple times due to Oliver blocking it. I'm sorry, dude! Crap. You can't tell here, but at the far right side, there's an infected Abby as well. Dong! I don't know. Probably poison. Make sure. I don't know what this says, dude. I don't know. Crap. Okay, if you can't tell, basically Aiden just straight up chucked Abby at Oliver. And now Abby has bitten Connor, and now they're in like a tug of war situation. Give me him. And now Connor has snapped in half and is implied to be dead. Oliver, 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 wakey, wakey, get up. Alice wants a kiss. His horns are fake. Alice? He's up. Aw, I thought he was dead. I knew the Alice thing would work. Hey, Oliver. You okay? Can you see clearly? Here, we tried fixing Connor. Let's get to the gym. It's not safe. Sorry for your loss, I guess. Now, that was the end of the comic, and not much to go off of. However, there are a few important things. One, Engel does not look okay at all in some of the shots or panels. If I had to guess, he's probably in the first stage, maybe a late first stage, so about to turn to second. Connor's dead, obviously, or at least implied to be. And also, the pendant on Oliver's neck seems to prevent infection. So, by this, Oliver could actually be immune as long as he has the necklace on. This does mean he could still definitely die, though, as he did kind of almost die when getting attacked by Aiden and Abby. But, yeah, don't worry, the second comic isn't nearly as long. Let's just get into that. I do this every time. Oh my god. Okay, basically, one last thing I want to point out. It's implied that the events of OG FPE did happen, or at least Claire's death, as Oliver says that she's a zombie, and Connor's like, yeah, pretty sure you died. And there's also a community post with a, like, right here, and it says, that girl is a zombie. Alice ate her. I saw her dead before that, and her weird cat. She just doesn't know when to stay in the freaking ground. So, obviously, the only person that called her a zombie was Oliver, in that comic at least, and so far. So, this is probably Oliver's saying, and we also get infected of somebody here. Just wanted to point that out, so maybe Claire was just revived in some way? No clue, but let's just continue. No way, I just did this thing back to back. Anyways, there's another community post I forgot to mention here, and I'm gonna have to guess it's from Oliver again, as it reads, I hated when Claire thinks she could tell me what to do.
Colt. Like, no, I do not have to eat what you tell me to. I'm not gonna try and get fat like you and your flippin' Discord kitten who looks like a character from a cartoon. Like, this is what generations come to. We got purple hair freaks going around following some wannabe main character in her little cult. That stupid girl won't get off my back. Just because I'm an alpha male doesn't mean I can't wear makeup. Makeup looks way better on me than you, girl. You're not slank. Send me back to when I was in the forest with Aiden and Orange Tree Woman. I miss Alice. You like my picture? It's of a fat infected. Lol, it's so easy taking pictures of these things. I'm being serious. I just scream at it and it freezes. Like either they're shocked by my beauty or these little things are dumber than I thought. Anyways, rest in peace, Zip. If you were better at dodging Petunia, Petunia wouldn't have killed you. Unless you survived, but I'm just gonna assume you're dead because I've seen an infected that looked like you. If you're seeing this, though, hey, Zip, it's me, Oliver. Go to the gym with Edward, and we can play Truth or Dare or something. And we have a bit of images. Or, I guess, just one. So, it seems that in this AU, Oliver is pretty selfish, as he says, rest in P word, Zip, instead of rest in peace. And, just kind of, like, doesn't really seem like, I hope you're alive. The only one he seems to care about is just Alice and Aiden. Yeah. Alright, let's just actually continue onwards now.
So the second comic is called Breakout, and it's about Abby and Lana. Don't worry, like I said, the comic isn't nearly as long. It's about, maybe half the length of Alice. But let's just get on to it. Again, it's going to be severely cropped, but I'll just say what they're saying and kind of explain what is happening if you can't tell what's going on. So we are greeted by Lana running in the halls, and yeah, she's definitely running from something if you can't tell. Abby, what's wrong? Why are you mad? Did I do something wrong? Well, hey, now I know she's running from an infected Abby. Dong! I think she grabbed a pen or something and just whacked him in the face. Sorry, Abby! Abby, are you okay? What's wrong? Just say something, please. Did I hurt your feelings? Did the water do this to you? Why are you hurting people? Did Circle do something? I can help you. Oh, boy. So, if you can't tell here, Lana has climbed into an oven to hide. I'm sorry, Abby. Wish I could help you. The door isn't opening? Dong, dong, dong. She's just like banging on the oven door. It's getting hot in here. Is that a bad thing? Oh boy, bad, bad! If you can't tell, Abby is on top of the oven and turned it on, which has prevented it from being open, as that's how most ovens work. And that was the end of Breakout, the Abby and Lana comic with Lana getting burned alive in the end inside the oven. We don't know if really Lana got infected or how she got infected, but she's most definitely dead. Well, now that's kind of all there is to FPE Yellow, or all there is to offer you right now. Now, there's definitely tons of stuff I've missed, but, and I apologize if I missed anything, like, big or important, but that's the end. So, the story, as of now, is an infection, or a parasite has broken out into the school, from, I'm assuming a government, like, company, kind of, known as SAFE. They kind of told Grace that, they're going to come for them, and Grace was like, okay, not that big of a deal. They never came for her, and Grace just told everyone it was an oil spill, in which it was not. Mr. Demi, Zip, Aiden, Abby, Petunia probably, Miss Stavel, they're all infected. Miss Stavel was the first, and we're going to assume she's in the final stage. Miss Grace could have probably ended it long ago, but didn't, and yeah. It is implied that Edward and Mr. Demi are tame-ish, as Edward and Demi feeds them, and said this himself. But they are infected, and it is also implied that the parasite is sentient, and kind of its personality depends on who it takes over. The dead, people that are dead can potentially be brought back alive by the infection, seen in Warning, where Miss Stavel barfs up an infected chip. And yeah, that's kind of the main story. Oh, and Claire, Ruby, Engel, and Oliver are together in a group. Alice is dead. And yeah. Now, obviously, that was FPE Yellow. Overall, I think it's a fantastic series, and you should definitely go check it out. Go support IMV. There's tons of stuff I have left out. I'm aware of that. But you should go check out the FPE Yellow Discord server, as they have tons of sneak peeks behind the scenes and stuff I haven't mentioned, like who's infected, who's not. And they also host events there where you can like participate in them, and if completed, you actually get a video of the series. So you can essentially help out, like puzzle the story together by unlocking like the videos and stuff. Well, overall, I think FP Yellow is a fantastic series, and I can't wait to see more. Sorry this video is a little long, and I'm sorry if there's some stuff I have left out. Also, I just figured out that the parasite is not worms. So there's that. I don't know what the parasite is, to be honest. But, yeah. Thank you for watching. This video took tons of time and effort to make. I'm sorry, again, if I left anything important out. But have a great day, and make sure to check your closet tonight. And make sure to check the water that you're drinking is safe. Bye.